Yes, I heard that. Thank you. Yeah. Neil, do you have the itu?
For you, I have.
Makasih ya. Thank you.
I can. Halo, Mr. Ken. Boleh dijelaskan materi pelajaran kita hari ini? Jadi jadwal kamu untuk mengajar, untuk kami yang ada di sini. Waktu ingat minggu, baca ya di Google Classroom. Kan hari ini kan diskusi untuk satu topik untuk teks anekdot. Ayo, kan silakan.
Good morning, 10A. Let's start in a minute. Okay, good morning, 10A.
Good morning, Miss Jen.
Morning. Okay. This is a good day because tomorrow, all right, tomorrow until Sunday are rest days for us, right? So let's get it done and over with, all right, so that we can enjoy our holidays. Okay. How was the Independence Day celebration yesterday? How did you find it? Anyone?
It was interesting.
Interesting, right? We have to adapt, right? We have to adapt to the changing environment, and the new normal program is like that, right? So I was able to experience what you have been experiencing, looking at the screen for a long time. And to be honest, right, it's so tiring. It's so exhausting, and like only after a few hours of looking at the screen, I felt the terrible headache, right? So is that what you experience every day? Is it the same thing? Yeah, right. So hopefully we'll be able to, to cope, and also we'll have the old way of learning, okay, soon. All right. Yeah. So before we start reading, okay, let me check the attendance. We are 22 now, all right? And okay, some of you are not using their videos on. Okay, so I hope there's a good reason why you're not using your videos. Okay, Keisha, how are you? Can you hear me, Keisha? How about Brian?
Yes, miss.
Yes, Brian, may I know why you're not using your video today?
Oh, let me turn it on.
Ah, okay. Yeah, all right. How about Keisha? Okay, yeah. Sabrina, what kind of filter is that? Is that a really...
Miss,
It's
can I
not
go
a
to the restroom first?
Okay, yes, Brian. Sabrina, what did you say? Sorry. There. Okay. Okay, now it's clear. Thank you. All right. So before we start, okay, let's share some news, okay? As always, we share news, okay, to begin the class, all right? So that we will be aware of what's happening around us. Let's give ourselves some hot news, okay? The sizzling news, all right? Who's in charge for today? Last time, was it Christopher who shared? I can't remember. Who was the last person to share?
Yes, it's me, miss.
Okay, so thank you, Christopher. So if it was you last time, then it's supposed to be Cleon and Darren. Right, Darren? Okay. Cleon, are you ready? You're supposed to share last week, but you were absent, so we rescheduled it to today. There. Okay, you may start, Cleon. Who first, Cleon or Darren?
I asked Darren for the help for share screen, miss.
Ah, okay. Yeah, go ahead, Cleon. You may begin.
US has averaged 1,000 deaths per day for 16 consecutive days. Coronavirus continues to spread at high rates across the South, Midwest, and West. Even as the total number of new COVID cases in the US has declined, but deaths from the virus have remained high. The 7-day average of daily coronavirus deaths was just over 1,000 on last Tuesday. The 16th consecutive day, the US averaged over 1,000 deaths per day. Experts said that the virus will continue to rattle American society until people more seriously adopt recommended public health measures.
Public.
In my opinion, people need to follow the rules and stay at home. The quarantine will end faster if people obey the rule.
Cleon, it's so easy to say people have to follow the rules. People should follow the rules. But how come Americans can't follow simple rule of wearing a mask or simple social distancing?
I don't know.
Any idea from the class? Okay, let's help Cleon. So yeah, Cleon says that it would be easy to flatten the curve, okay, to flatten the curve if people would follow social distancing and simple wearing of masks or staying at home. But how come Americans, okay, one of the strongest countries, okay, cannot follow that simple rule?
Because they want freedom.
Okay, because they always demand freedom, okay? And for them, if you tell them to wear masks, to do social distancing, it means that you're oppressing them. You're suppressing their freedom, okay? And in this case, right, in this case, it should not be the case, right? Because it's already a matter of life and death, okay? You know, they like demos, right? Protests. Okay, I saw one, okay, like my body, my rules. Okay, my body, my rules. So it means that he or she, that person, would not follow the government because um, it's his body, so it's his right. Okay, yeah. How about you guys? How about the others? What else can you say? Why do you think America, one of the strongest countries, okay, is having difficulty flattening the curve of coronavirus cases? Anyone? Jason?
In my personal opinion, there's a lot of like medical information from doctors that have been misinterpreted. Like I remember Dr. Anthony Fauci like telling the American people that they shouldn't be wearing masks, but that was because there was a shortage of masks since they didn't really consider coronavirus as a proper pandemic yet. So they didn't actually put any focus into the production of masks.
All right. So you're trying to tell us now that too much information, okay, is influencing people. Yeah, I mean, we have been blessed by the internet, okay, information highway, they said. However, it's now hampering our what? Our obedience because we feel that there are too many information, okay, and we have difficulties filtering whether they are what? Whether they're true or not, okay? Yes, I have to agree with you there, Jason. Right. Thank you. Okay, do we have other questions or comments for Cleon about his news? Okay, I guess that's pretty straightforward, right? All right, thank you, Cleon. Now let's have Darren. Okay, Darren, take it away.
Okay. Okay, just for small information, the NBA restart playoff just begun, and it's happened just yesterday, the first round, and surprisingly, Donovan Mitchell of the Utah Jazz has scored a high playoff career of 57 points. This is actually very hard to accomplish, as he is facing off two of the all-star celebrities of Denver Nuggets, which includes Nikola Jokic and also the Jamal Murray. All right, straight to my news. It's gonna be the Singapore coronavirus outbreak, which there. Singapore reports 100 new COVID-19 cases, including one in the community. This person, which one in the community, is actually working in a non-public facing role. That means this person almost never face people or in contact with people, as he only works in the back screen, like in the back screen in a bus in the bus station. Mm-hmm. And then the other two person is actually coming from India, which comes back to their home country, which is Singapore, and the other 97 are actually working in dormitories. Mm-hmm. So in my opinion, this shows that this one people, even though we are not in contact with people, we might still get the coronavirus. That means this coronavirus can spread even though we don't meet people. That's why we need to always daily wash our hands and take a shower and so on. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Darren. Okay. So thank you for sharing two news for us. One sports, one still about coronavirus. Darren, are you into basketball?
Yes.
Ah, that's why. Okay. How did you find it? Like seeing the NBA season start online. Okay. I mean, there are no audience. How is it different from the normal start of the season?
Like I don't know how they make it, but there are actually audience with screens. Like they make people sit on digital chairs and seeing the real game in action. Like,
did those people still have to pay a huge amount of money? Because on a regular day, right? On a regular day, they pay a lot of money, right?
Yes.
How about the digital one?
Yes, they are actually paying the same price, I think.
What?
But they only limit the seats. Like there are not as much seats as the normal games. Mm-hmm. So they are limited.
Ah, okay. But the feeling, is it the same feeling or it's different?
I think not, because looking at the screen and looking in real life is so different.
Yeah, I have to agree. But guys, okay, I just want to share with you, and Darren can help me confirm. These players, before they start playing and interacting with the other players, they did a test, right? And I've heard that they did not do swab test anymore. Swab is like you put something in your nose, right? They put like I don't know what that called, the instrument, okay, to check if you have corona or not. Okay, that's painful, the swab test, okay? But I heard that the NBA players did a saliva test. Is it true, Daryl?
Yeah, I think so. Yes, and
Okay.
one of the stars are included positive there.
Okay. Yeah. So of course he's not permitted to play,
Yes.
right? All right. Yeah. But again, we have now three ways of testing whether you have whether you are a potential carrier of corona or not. One, the rapid test. They say it's not reliable. Two, the swab test, the reliable one, but the painful one. Third, the new one is the saliva test. Okay. So I hope that it's not painful and it's not expensive too, okay? Because, we need testing, okay? We need testing so that we know who to isolate, okay? Yeah, so in my, uh, in my case, okay, I would go through a saliva test, but not the swab. Okay, I saw how long that instrument was. They will poke it inside your two nostrils, and then another one for your throat. Okay, they say it's not that painful, but it's so uncomfortable. Like you have mucus that you want to remove, okay, but it's so difficult to do it, okay. Yeah, so for me saliva test is a blessing, okay. So if ever I am forced to take a corona test, okay, I'll choose the saliva test, okay. And also with your news in Singapore, okay, so they're doing their best, right, Darren, to beat coronavirus. However, in your news here, okay, there are 100 new cases, right?
Yes.
And these people did not have close contact with the public, correct? So it only means that there's no way we can protect ourselves from corona, right? Except for staying at home, right? Okay. Yeah, I just hope this corona ends soon, right? It's becoming what? It's becoming exhausting, right? And we want to go out, okay? But yeah, we have to restrain ourselves, okay? So that we can have, so that we can have more chances to enjoy life, okay, in the future. Okay. Are there any questions or comments from the class? 10A? No? Okay. I want to ask Celine. Okay. Celine, what's the last thing that we did in class? Thank you, Darren. Thank you, Cleon. Okay. For a review, Celine, what did we do?
We read chapter 7 and 8. We did quizzes. We summarized them too.
Okay, so we did a lot of things with the Pearl, and hopefully we'll be able to finish it by 10:30. Okay, 9, 10, 11, 12. But if not, that's okay too. Okay. Alfred, do you remember chapter 7? It's chapter 7 again. Anyone who remembers chapter 7? In case Alfred has forgotten? Anyone? Chapter 7. Nobody remembers? James, do you remember? Thank you, Alfred. James Matthew, do you remember?
No, not really.
Okay, that's fine. It's been a long time. Cherish, do you remember?
I think Kino got attacked again.
Okay, correct. So, that's right, Cherish. Kino and Wana have been attacked 3 times already, right? And we still do not know who they are. Also, okay, so aside from the 3 assaults, okay, Kino got mad because the canoe was broken, okay, intentionally damaged so that he won't go away. And then lastly, the last assault, okay, the last insult is the burning of the house. So totally, there's like a clear message to Kino, okay? Sell the pearl or die, right? So that's what they're trying to tell Kino so that they would get the pearl. So let's see what would happen next, okay? Keisha, what's your prediction? Did you read the chapter 9, Keisha?
No, I haven't read chapter 9.
Okay, any guess what would happen next?
I think they're gonna sell they're gonna throw the pearl away.
Ah, that's your guess. Throw the pearl away. After all the catastrophes, the series of unfortunate events, you think they're gonna throw it away. Okay, that can be. Thank you, Keisha. Christine, what's your guess?
I think they're gonna run away.
Run away, possible. Okay, because in the last part, right, they said that they would go to Juan Tomas, right? Yeah. Roy, how about you? Last one. Any guess? So Keisha said they will sell the pearl immediately. Christine said they will run away. How about you? What's your guess?
They will sell it, miss.
They will sell it. Okay, let's see. Thank you, Roy. All right, Nicole, I want you to start reading. Thank you, Roy, Keisha, and Christine. Okay, we are on the 9th chapter.
Kino and Juana ran away. The house of Juan Thomas was almost the same as Kino's house. Nearly all the little wooden houses were the same. All the houses were full of holes, and Juana and Kino could still see the flames through the wall. They could see the tall flames burning up, and they saw the roof of their house fall in. Then Juana and Kino heard the shouts of their friends and the loud high cry of Apollonia, the wife of Juan Thomas. Apollonia began to cry like all the women cried when someone died in the family. A few minutes later, Apollonia came into her house to get her shawl. As she looked in a box by the wall, Kino spoke very quietly. Apollonia, Kino said, don't cry out, we are here. How did you get here? Apollonia asked. Don't ask any questions now, Kino answered. Go to Juan Thomas and bring him here and don't tell the others. This is very important, Apollonia. Apollonia looked at Kino. Yes, Kino, she said. In a few moments, Juan Thomas came back with his wife. Juan Thomas lit a candle and came to Kino and Juana in the corner. Apollonia, Juan Thomas said, go to the door and don't let anyone come in. Juan Thomas was older than Kino and he seemed to know what to do. Now, brother, Juan Thomas said, tell me what happened. Someone attacked me in the dark, Kino said, and in the fight I killed a man. Who? Juan Thomas asked quickly. I don't know, Kino answered. It was dark, very dark. The man wanted the pearl, Juan Thomas said. That pearl is bad, Kino. You should have sold the pearl. Perhaps you can still sell it. Brother, Kino said. Something very bad has happened. Something has happened that is worse than death. Someone has made a hole in my canoe and burnt my house. A dead man is in the bushes. Men are watching and waiting to kill me. You must hide us, brother. Kino looked at his brother closely, and he saw that Juan Thomas was afraid of the danger. We don't need to hide here for a long time, Kino said. I will hide you, Juan Thomas answered. I do not want to bring danger to you, Kino said. I will go tonight and then you will be safe. I will help you, said Juan Thomas. And he called to Apollonia. Please, can you? Apollonia, close the door, he said. Don't tell anyone that Kino and Juana are here.
Okay, thank you, Nicole. So at this point, all right, it's not only Juana who keeps on telling Kino to throw away the pearl, right? So another important person in Kino's life, Juan Tomas, has told him, okay, Kino, this is bringing you bad luck. You have to throw it away. However, Kino here said, okay, instead of entering directly, okay, he said, brother, something bad has happened. My canoe has been broken. We have been attacked thrice. My house was burned. So it's an indirect answer. Brother, there's no turning back anymore. My life is destroyed, so I might as well go through with everything. Okay? So Kino is already what? Focused on keeping the pearl and selling it to the capital. Okay? Because for him, he has invested so much time and effort keeping the pearl, and it would be a waste to throw it away. Okay? So my question to you guys is, all right, Wilson, if you were Juan Tomas, would you keep your brother who's being hunted by a lot of people?
Yes,
Okay, why?
because he's my brother after all.
Okay, very
Someone.
good. So whatever happens, whether he's the most wanted person in the city or in the town, whether your life would be put at risk, you would still keep him. Is that right, Wilson?
Yes.
Okay. How about Matthew? Are you going to hide your brother or you're going to say no to him?
I will keep him.
Keep. Okay. Do you have the same reason or do you have another reason for keeping him? Okay. Who says, Miss, I'm not going to keep my brother? Anyone? Anyone? Or we all agree that we will keep Kino no matter how dangerous it is? Okay, I guess everyone will keep the brother. Okay, that's so nice of you. Because in other classes, they will say, no, miss, I'm not going to keep my brother. Okay, because it might endanger my life as well. Okay, again, we have different answers. Okay, but you, I think you're good siblings. Okay, yes. Thank you, Nicole. I'd like to ask Megan now to read this part. Kino and Juana sat silently all day.
Gino and Juana sat silently all day in the darkness of the house. They could hear the neighbors speaking through the walls of the house. Gino and Juana could see the neighbors. Heard their neighbors talking about their broken boat. Juan Thomas to talk to the neighbors. He did not tell the neighbors what had happened to Gino and Juana and the baby. I think that they have gone south along the coast. Juan Thomas said to one man. To another man, he said, Gino would never leave the sea. Perhaps he found another boat. And then Juan Thomas said, Apollonia is ill with sadness. That day, the wind blew strongly over the sea and the bushes along the coast. The wind blew strongly through the little wooden houses, and no boat was safe in the water. Gino will have drowned if he went to sea, the neighbor said. Every time Juan Thomas went to see his neighbors, he came back with something for Juana. Juan Thomas brought a little bag of red beans and some rice. He bought a cup of dried peppers and some salt. And he brought a long, heavy knife. Kino's eyes shone when he saw the knife. Kino touched the knife and it felt very sharp. The wind blew strongly over the sea and made the water white. Cloud over the sea. The wind blew away the clouds. In the evening, Juan Thomas talked to his brother. Where will you go? Juan Thomas asked Kino. To the north, Kino answered. I have heard our cities in the north. Don't go near the beach, said Juan Thomas. Can we scroll this? Go down. Okay.
People are searching along the beach.
The men in the town are looking for you. Have you still got the pearl? Yes, I have. Kino answered, and I will keep it. And Kino's eyes were hard and cruel. Pwede ito, Coyotito cried a little, and Juana sang quietly to make him silent. The wind is good, said Juan Thomas. The wind. Kino and Juana left quietly in the dark before the moon came up. The family stood in the house of Juan Thomas. Juana carried Coyotito on her back. She carried Coyotito in her shawl, and the baby slept with one cheek against Juana's shoulder. One end of the shawl covered Juana's nose and kept away the cold night air. Juan Thomas kissed Kino on both cheeks. Go with God, Juan Thomas said. Why don't you throw away the pearl? The pearl has become my life, Kino answered. If I throw away the pearl, I shall lose my life. Go also with God, Juan Thomas.
Okay, thank you, Megan. Right, I just need to emphasize this one. Rochelle, how about this part? The pearl has become my life, Kino answered. If I throw away the pearl, I shall lose my life. Go also with God, Juan Tomas. This line, if I throw away the pearl, I shall lose my life. What can you say about Kino here?
Kino has said that the pearl is his dream before, so I think if he throw the pearl away, his dream will over, and there is nothing he can do with his life again.
Correct. Okay. So, Rochelle, in simple terms, can we say that Kino has become so obsessed with the pearl?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Like, for him, okay, his life would be meaningless without the pearl. And to think that he has a wife, he has a son, but those became what? Those became meaningless if he loses the pearl, right? So it's just so sad that Kino has become so greedy and so obsessed with the pearl. Okay, thank you, Rochelle. Okay, thank you, Megan. Jason, Matthew, can you start reading from here? The strong wind blew sticks and sand.
The strong wind blew sticks and sand and little stones through the air. Kino and Juana covered their faces as they walked along. The wind had cleared the dark sky, and the stars shone brightly. Kino and Juana walked carefully. They did not go into the town because they did not want anyone to see them. Kino and Juana went past the town and turned north. They followed the sandy road that led through the forest to the next town. Kino could feel the sand blowing against his legs. He was happy because he knew that the sand would blow away the tracks. He could see the narrow road through the forest by the light of the stars. Kino could hear the sound of Juana's feet. Kino went quickly, and Juana was almost running behind. Kino's people had always been afraid of the night, and Kino was afraid too. Kino was like a hunted animal now. He moved quickly and carefully. The wind made a frightening noise through the trees and bushes as Kino and Juana walked on through the darkness. At last, the moon came up on their right. When the moon came up, the wind stopped and the air was still again. Kino and Juana could see the little road in front of them. The sandy road was deeply cut with wheel tracks. Now that the wind had stopped, Kino and Juana would also leave tracks. Kino and Juana walked all night without stopping. In the early morning, Kino looked for a place to hide during the day. He found a place near the road. An animal had made a place in the bushes. No one could see the place from the road. Juana sat down and fed the baby, and Kino went back to the road. Kino broke off a piece of tree and carefully swept away the tracks. It was getting light now. Kino heard a cart coming along the road. Kino bent down near the road and watched the heavy two-wheel cart go by. When the cart had gone, Kino went back to the road and looked at the cart tracks. Kino saw that his tracks had gone. He swept the ground again and then went back to Juana. Juana gave Kino some corn cakes that Apollonia had made. Juana then slept a little, while Kino sat and looked at the ground. The hot sun came up in the sky. Kino and Juana were not near the sea now, and the air was very dry and hot. Kino could smell the trees and the hot air. Juana woke up when the sun was high in the sky. Then Kino pointed at the trees. Be careful of that tree there, Kino said to Juana. Do not touch the tree. If you touch it and then touch your eyes, you will become blind. Then Kino pointed to another tree. Do not break the branch of that tree, he said. If you break the branch, red blood will run out, and the blood brings bad luck. Juana nodded and smiled a little, because she knew these things. Will they follow us? Juana asked. Do you think that they will try to find us? They will try, Kino answered. If they find us, they will take the pearl. Oh yes, they will try. Then Juana said perhaps the buyers were right, and the pearl has no value. Perhaps we are wrong. Kino put his hand in his pocket and brought out the pearl. The sun made the pearls shine brightly. No, Kino said. They would not have tried to steal the pearl if it was not valuable. Do you know who attacked you? Juana asked. Was it the buyers? I don't know, Kino answered. I didn't see the people who attacked me. Kino looked into the pearl and started to dream again. He tried to dream of all the things that he wanted, but he could not dream again. He could only think of the terrible things that had happened since they found the pearl.
Okay, Jason, wait a while. I just need to explain this part. All right. One has said, perhaps the buyers were right and the pearl has no value. Perhaps we are wrong. Okay. And then Kino said, no, they would not have tried to steal the pearl if it was not valuable. Guys, who do you think is right? Kino, who believes that the pearl has value, or the pearl buyers who, who are experts in grading or adding value, okay, to the pearl, okay? Who do you think is right, Kino or the pearl buyers? Celine, what's your opinion?
Kino.
Okay, Kino, why?
Because no one has ever seen a pearl like that. It's so big, and as it gets bigger and nice shape, the pearl gets more expensive.
Correct. All right. And Kino has a point, right? So no one has seen that, no one has seen as beautiful as that, right? A pearl as beautiful as that. And also, why would they attack him? Why would they assault him if it has no value, right? So Kino's instinct is right. Okay, so the pearl buyers are just what? Trying to trick them. Okay, trying to trick them, trying to hurt them and scare them so that they would what? Give away or sell the pearl away. All right, thank you, Celine. Jason, can you please continue?
When we sell this pearl, I will have a rifle, he said. Kino tried to think about the rifle, but he could only think of death. He thought of the man that he had killed with his knife. Oh shoot, I went back. Yes. We will be married in the church, Kino said quickly. But when Kino tried to think about his marriage, he thought about Juana. He could only think of the blood on Juana's face where he had hit her. Kino was afraid, but he spoke again. Our son must learn to read, he said. Kino looked at his pearl and he tried to dream of his son reading a book. But instead, Kino dreamt about the doctor who had made Koyotiro sick. Kino stopped thinking about these terrible things and he put the pearl back into his pocket.
Okay, thank you, Jason. So at this point, okay, it was all about what? Running away, okay, running away from the trackers and trying to save their lives, okay? They all have these doubts, they all have these fears, but what's making them go, okay, making them move is the fear of what? Fear of being hurt, okay, by the trackers, okay? And again, at this point, even up to this point, Kino is clinging onto his dream that my son will go to school, okay? So he doesn't want to be enslaved, okay? He doesn't want to be disrespected by the white people anymore, okay? That's why he's trying everything. He's doing his best just so he can sell the pearl, all right? Thank you, Jason. Next, I'd like Roy to read Chapter 10, The Trackers.
The trackers. The sun was so hot that Kino and Juana moved into the shade of the bushes. Small birds moved about in the shade. Kino covered his eyes with his hat and wrapped his blanket around his face to keep the flies off. Then he slept. But Juana did not sleep. Her face was still full of pain because Kino had hit her. Big flies flew around the cut on Juana's chin. When Coyotito woke up, Juana put him on the ground and watched the baby wave his arms and kick his feet. Coyotito smiled at Juana and Juana smiled too. Juana played with Coyotito and gave him some water to drink. Kino was dreaming in his sleep. He moved about and cried out in a loud voice. Kino's hand moved as if he was fighting. Suddenly he sat up. He was breathing deeply. Kino listened, but he heard only the sounds of the forest. What's the matter? Juana asked. Quiet, Kino answered. You are only dreaming, Juana said. Perhaps, Kino replied. Kino would not sleep again. When Juana gave him corn cake, Kino stopped eating to listen. Kino was afraid. He looked over his shoulder into the trees and held his knife firmly in his hand. Coyotito made a little noise and Kino said, Keep him quiet. What's the matter? Juana asked again. I don't know, Kino answered. Suddenly, he saw something moving. Kino bent his head down and looked through the trees. Far away, Kino could see three men. Two of the men were walking and the other man was riding a horse. Kino knew what the men were doing. Suddenly, Kino felt very frightened. The men who were walking were carefully looking at the ground. One of the men stopped and pointed at something. Kino knew that the men were trackers. These trackers could follow the tracks of sheep in the Rocky Mountains. They could see a piece of broken grass or little marks in the sand. They were as clever as hunting dogs. The man on the horse had a blanket covering his nose. He was carrying a rifle in his hand.
Rifle.
Rifle in his hand. Kino stood as still as a tree. He almost stopped breathing. His eyes looked at the place where he had swept away the tracks. The marks of the sweeping might tell the trackers something. Kino knew these men. They were very clever hunters and now they were hunting Kino. Suddenly the trackers saw something and they bent over to look more closely. The men on the horse waited and watched. The trackers made a noise like excited dogs. Kino, Kino slowly pulled out his knife and got ready. He knew what he must do. If the trackers found Kino, then he must jump at the horseman. He must kill the horseman quickly and take the rifle. That was Kino's only chance. As the men came nearer, Kino got ready. Wana could hear the horse coming. The baby made a little noise. Wana took Coyotito and put him under the shawl and fed him. When the trackers came near, Kino could only see their legs and the legs of the horse through the trees. Kino could see the man's dirty feet and their old clothes. The trackers came nearer and stopped again. The horseman stopped too. The horse moved its head up and down and breathed loudly through its nose. Then the trackers turned and looked at the horse and watched the animal's ears. They wanted to see if the horse could hear any strange noises. Kino stopped breathing and his arms and legs were ready to fight. The trackers bent over the road for a long time, then they moved away slowly. They looked at the ground all the time and the horseman followed behind. The trackers ran a little, stopped to look at the ground and then ran again. Kino knew that they would come back. They would look and stop and then look again until they had found Kino's tracks. Kino went back into the forest. He did not cover his tracks. He could not cover his tracks because he had broken too many bushes and had moved too many stones. Kino was so frightened now that he wanted to run away. He knew that the hunters would find his tracks. He must take Juana and Coyotito and run away as fast as possible. Kino went back to Juana silently and quickly. As he came near, Juana looked up.
Okay, thank you, Roy. So at this point, okay, it's just the trackers are following Kino and Wana, but they're so close to catching up with them, okay? So the thing is, these professional trackers are so good, all right? And Kino and Wana have a baby with them, okay? So how can they run so fast, okay, when they have a baby with them, okay? If it's just Kino alone, perhaps he can, outrun them. But Kino is with his wife and also with a sick baby. He wanted to cover his tracks every time. However, okay, he has no time to do it, okay? So let's see if the trackers would be able to catch up with them, all right? Christine, can you continue reading? I think we stopped here. Thank you, Roy.
Trackers, Kino said. Come on. Then Kino suddenly felt that all hope had gone. Perhaps I should let the trackers find me, he said. Juana jumped up and put her hand on Kino's arm. You have the pearl, she said. Do you think that those men would take you back to the town alive? Kino's hand went slowly to his pocket. They will find a pearl, he said quietly. Come on, Juana said, come on. When Kino did not move, Juana spoke again. Do you think that they would not kill me too? She asked. Do you think that they would not kill Coyotito? Juana had made Kino think. Kino's lips were tight over his teeth and his eyes were full of hate and anger. Come on, he said. We will go to the mountains. Perhaps we can hide in the mountains. Kino picked up the little bags of food and a water bottle in his left hand. In his right hand, he carried his big knife. Juana followed Kino through the bushes, and they went quickly towards the high mountains. They walked quickly through the bushes. Kino was so frightened that he did not cover the tracks. They walked quickly, kicking stones and breaking the leaves from the trees. Kino and Juana could see the high mountains rising out of the forest and standing against the sky. They ran towards the mountains like hunted animals. This land had no water. Kino and Juana walked on broken stones and little pieces of dry grass. This desert country was burning hot. In front, the Rocky Mountains looked cool and safe. Kino walked as fast as he could. He knew what would happen. The hunters would soon find the tracks. Then they would come to the place where Kino and Juana had slept. The trackers could easily follow because of the broken stones and the fallen leaves. They would find Kino and Juana. They would not take Kino and Juana and Coyotito back to the town. The horseman had a rifle. The little path became steeper and the stones were larger. But now Kino and his family were a long way from the trackers. Kino and Juana stopped to rest. Kino climbed onto a big rock and looked back. He could not see the trackers. Kino could not even see the tall horseman riding through the bushes. Juana sat in the shade of the rock. She put the water bottle onto Coyotito's lips, and he drank the water quickly. Kino climbed down from the large rock and looked at Juana. He saw that her feet were cut from the stones and bushes. Juana quickly covered her feet with her skirt. Then Juana gave the water bottle to Kino, but he shook his head. He was thirsty, but there was only a little water left. Juana, said Kino, I will go and you will hide. I will go to the mountains and the trackers will follow me. When they have gone, you will go north. Then I will come to you. Juana looked into Kino's eyes for a moment. No, she said, we will go with you. I can go faster alone, Kino said angrily. You will put Coyotito in more danger if you go with me. No, Juana said. You must, Kino answered. I want you to hide. No, Juana said again.
Okay, stop right there, Christine. Guys, I want to ask Jessica. Jessica, would you do the same thing? Okay, would you suggest the same thing with what Juana suggested? Juana wants that they go together, but Kino suggests that they split the group. What's your stand on that? What's the best strategy? Jessica, are you with me? Is she here?
Yeah, I would follow Kino's advice and go alone separately.
Why?
Because she's carrying a baby and would be really dangerous. Well, as you said before, Kino can outrun them. So Kino can bring them to the other side while Juana runs to the north, right? And then Kino can just came back later on.
So they have more chances of surviving if they split.
Yes, because Kino is alone and doesn't have to carry the baby, so can just go faster.
Correct. Okay. But you see, you don't think like Juana, right? Because Juana wants to stick together. Okay. Yeah. But right, I agree with you that there's a higher chance of survival if they split. Okay. Thank you, Jessica. Jocelyn, how about you, Jess? What do you think? Go together, escape together, or split?
Escape together. Because
Escape together.
Even if it's dangerous, at least they'll know what's going to they can discuss, because Kino right now is fight or flight. And Juana seems to have a more rational thinking now, something like that. So yeah, if Kino dies, the pearl also go away. So like there's no point if they split anyway.
Okay, yes. At least, okay, at least even if they are caught, they're together. Is that your point, Jocelyn?
Yeah, because like either way, if one of them gets caught, it'll be pointless. Because if Coyotito or Juana is dead, then like there's no point in the pearl anymore because he can't marry a dead person and he can't provide for a dead baby either. And if Kino is dead, Juana and Coyotito would probably be having like harder times.
Yes, agree. Okay. Yeah. So Jocelyn and Jessica gave us two opposing opinions and both are logical as well. Okay. So there are advantages and disadvantages whether you stick together or you split. Okay. Thank you, Jess. Thank you. Thank you, Jess. Okay, Jocelyn and Jessica. All right. Christine, please continue.
Kino looked at Juana. He could see no fear or weakness in her face. Juana's eyes were very bright, and they seemed to make Kino strong. When Kino and Juana started walking again, he was no longer frightened. Kino and Juana climbed higher towards the mountains. They were walking on flat rocks now, and they were not making tracks. Kino knew that when the hunters lost his tracks, they must search until they found the tracks again. So Kino did not go straight to the mountains. He wanted to make it more difficult for the trackers to find them. Sometimes he left the rocks and made tracks in other places. Then he went back to the rocks and climbed up the mountain to Juana. The path went up, and Kino and Juana breathed heavily as they walked. The sun was going down slowly as Kino and Juana walked into a valley. The valley was dark and full of shadows. Kino could see some little bushes in the valley. The water bottle was empty now, and Kino thought that he might find water near the bushes. But the valley was dangerous because trackers would also want water. Kino was right. There was a pool near the bushes. A stream ran down from the cold snow at the top of the mountain and made a large pool. Bushes and tall grass grew beside the pool. There was a small sandy beach, which was full of the tracks of animals that had come to drink water. The sun had gone over the mountain when Kino and Juana came at last to the water. From the pool, they could look across the sea far away. Kino and Juana were both very tired. Juana fell to her knees and washed Coyotito's face. Then she filled the bottle and gave the baby a drink. Kino was very thirsty and drank for a long time from the pool. Then he lay beside the water and watched Juana feeding the baby. When Kino rested, he stood up. From the pool, Kino looked down the side of the mountain. Kino suddenly saw something and he stood very still. He could see the trackers far down the bottom of the mountain. They were far away and looked very small. Juana had turned to look at Kino and he saw him standing still. "How far?" she asked quietly. "They will be here by evening," Kino answered. Kino looked up the valley where the water was coming down. "We must climb higher," he said, looking up the rocky hill above the pool.
Okay, thank you, Christine. All right, so it's all about running away and chasing for chapters 10 and 11. Okay, guys, I know that your eyes are a little painful now. Okay, so how about, okay, I give you 10 minutes of rest and then you read the last two chapters on your own. Is that okay? And then you're gonna have to write a summary from chapters 9 to 12, okay? But the deadline is until the afternoon, okay? So are we good? Are we clear with the instructions? Okay, so again, chapters 9 to 10, okay, all about running away and being chased by the trackers, okay? 11 and 12, you read it on your own, you summarize it, okay? I'll be waiting until the afternoon today, all right? Do we have any questions? Okay, rest your eyes now. Go.